Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. I am ripe like a tomato on a summer vine, like a peach, soft and supple, dripping down this arm of mine. I am full like the spirit of the tender Jesus Christ. I am sure like the ocean that heeds the moon and the call to rise, and that's why I have to go. Why I have to go now. I am done like a potato, cooked so perfectly, where the skin breaks open and the steam arises and the butter melts so easily. I am large like a canyon that echoes back the sound of all the dreams. I'm finally brave enough to water here on fertile ground, and that's why
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity Columbine Spiritual Center, where centered in God, we celebrate a world of harmony, peace, and abundance for all. Let's stand together for our first joy song.
All right. All right, I see some hips moving. Where do you want to play? Do it your way. Where do you want to play? Life's a field of possibilities, a playground of creativity. Light the way, 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 light the way. You're the torch holder of this beautiful day. You're the torch holder of this glorious day. Do 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 do. Let spirit run through you with sound. Breathe in and let out some sound. Do 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 your way. Where do you wanna play? Do it your way. Where do you wanna play? Life's a field of possibilities, a playground of creativity. Light the way, 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 light the way. You're the torch holder of this glorious day. Do 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 it your way. Where do you wanna play? Do it your way. Where do you wanna play? Life's a field of possibilities, a playground of creativity. Light the way, 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 light the way. You're the torch holder of this glorious day. You're the torch holder of this glorious day. Let's light the way a few more times. Light the way, 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 light the way. Do 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 do. You're the torch holder of this glorious day.
Children, come on in.
Good morning, everyone. Morning. We're going to be doing storytelling with Miss Colleen today, and if you guys would bless us out. Is that?
Thank you for filling in today. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. We see the Christ you are.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. You are beautiful and whole. You are beautiful and whole. You are beautiful and whole. One more time through. How could anyone ever tell you you're anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone ever fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. You are beautiful and whole. You are beautiful and whole. Now let's sing it as an I statement, an affirmation. I am beautiful and whole. Two more times. I am beautiful and whole. One more time. I am beautiful and whole.
And with the help of Rebecca Abraxas, we take this time now to settle through music and then prayer and meditation, led by our prayer chaplain, Vicki Hopkins.
Be where you are. Find the flower in it all. The bloom and the blossom. Rest in the beauty of eyes open to see. Be where you are. Find the flower flower in it all. The blue and the blossom rest in the beauty of eyes open to see.
Let us settle into our chairs, take a deep breath, and be present. Be present in the incredible spirit that flows through each and every one of us, through each and every soul in this building and in this world. And we say thank you. We are so very grateful to be like that lotus flower that is of the world but rises above it and blossoms. We see the beauty in each and every face that shines in this room, that is joining us online, and we are grateful. We remember everyone who is listed on our prayer list and in our prayer box, knowing that there are situations that may be difficult, but because we have that firm foundation in our love and our support, we know that Spirit is in charge and is taking care. And as we feel this radiant love glowing and emanating throughout this building, throughout the world, we say thank you. And we enter into that silence for a few moments to help us reconnect and center. And so it is. Amen.
Be where you are, find the flower in it all, the bloom and the blossom, rest in the beauty of eyes open to see. Lying in the tall grass, looking at the stars with their shining mass, I start to think to myself, what did I come here to be? Am I missing the mark with being me? Did I choose to come here? Did I jump in with no fear? Something, somehow, someone said yes to life. Something, somehow, someone said, I'll fly my kite. I'm jumping in, I'm ready for the prize. Something, somehow, someone said, I'll trust this life. Sometimes I hear myself yell from anger and regret in my private hell. Can I take back all the me, all the times my anger had to scream? Then I hear the silence say to me, trust life and life trusts you. There's nothing to undo. Something, somehow, someone said yes to life. Something, somehow, someone said, I'll fly my kite. I'm jumping in, I'm ready for the prize. Something, somehow, someone said, I'll trust this life. Yes to the love, yes to the contrast, yes to the reasons I stay, I run, I pray. Something, somehow, someone said yes to life. Something, somehow, someone said, I'll fly my kite. I'm jumping in, I'm ready for the prize. Something, somehow, someone said, I'll trust this life.
Thanks, Rebecca. And I just have to give a shout out to Rebecca because this is her third day in a row being here. She was our music yesterday at our women's retreat. Friday night, she did a sound bowl chakra journey with all of us women that were here. And it was just so beautiful and lovely. And we're just so grateful for you coming here and being here with us. And to all the women that were here. If you were here at the women's retreat, raise your hand. Yes, a lot of you were here, and you came back today. Yay! Amazing. I'm glad you got some rest. Anyway, that song was perfect because today's talk is from the 5 invitations, the second invitation, which is welcome everything. And to welcome everything, we have to trust life. We have to trust it. There was a little boy, kindergartner, who wanted to walk himself to school, and his mom was a little nervous about that, but she wanted to honor that he wanted his independence. So she asked a neighbor who had a little toddler daughter to discreetly walk behind him on the way to school. And she said, yeah, sure, we're up anyway. We like to get our exercise. And so they walked behind him while he was walking to school, and he was walking with this little girl. And after a week of every day this going on, the little girl turns to little Jimmy and says, do you know those people behind us? Have you noticed they've been following us all week? And he goes, yeah, that's Shirley Goodness and her daughter, Marcy. And she goes, well, who are they? And he said, well, my mom worries about me, so every night she makes me recite the 23rd Psalm, and at the end it says, Surely goodness and mercy will follow you all the days of your life. So I guess I just have to get used to it. He was welcoming everything, welcoming everything. So the 5 Invitations by Frank Ostaseski, I think I got his name, so challenging last name for me to say. This is such a great book, and it's about living fully, about how death can help us live more fully. And this year our theme is Live Out Loud. And so there's so many lessons that death teaches us about living out loud, about living a full life, about living a life with passion. And this author of the book is also a founder of the Zen Hospice Project in San Francisco. So he has literally walked with thousands of people as they've made their transition, and he has lots of stories to share about what people who are making their transition, about what they wish they had done or what they hadn't done, or what, whatever that they in their dying days. So the first invitation we talked about a couple weeks ago was don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait to say I love you to someone. Don't wait to forgive. Don't wait. And the second invitation is welcome everything, push away nothing. It can be really hard for us to do that, to welcome everything. Welcome everything. That word welcome in itself can trigger us because it confronts us. He says on page 73, in welcoming everything, we don't have to like what is arising. It's actually not our job to approve or disapprove. The word welcome confronts us. It asks us to temporarily suspend our usual rush to judgment and to simply be open to what is happening. Our task is to give our careful attention to what is showing up at our front door, to receive it in the spirit of hospitality. Now, we don't always want to do that. We like things to be comfortable. We like things to be the way we want them to be, the way we're used to things being. Welcome everything is tough. To welcome whatever shows up. But whatever shows up in front of us is ours to work with, to work on, to work through, to work in. It's ours. And we can choose how we do that. We can choose whether we want to allow it to be an opening to possibilities or a close down and say, no, not that. I'll welcome everything but that. And so often we do that. Well, I can take this, but I can't take that. And he's saying, whatever comes, whatever comes. And it's how we think about it that makes a big difference. Unity's third principle is our thoughts change our experience of life. What we think changes how we experience life. And so if we choose to think about something that's coming to us, it has a lesson, it has a blessing, it has something to teach us, then we're going to be more open, we're going to be more accepting, we're going to be more willing to look at what is showing up in front of us. We're going to put out that welcome mat instead of closing down. And we get to choose this. There's so many blessings in our lives, but sometimes they come in weird packages and we just don't want anything to do with them. In the book, Frank talks about that he had a heart attack and then he had a triple bypass. And he wondered how he was going to manage the pain and the long recovery. And while he was going through it, a friend or fellow teacher, a Tibetan teacher, called him, who had also had a heart attack. And he asked him, how did you get through all that? How did you cope? How did you manage going through that long recovery? And the Tibetan teacher was quiet for a moment. And then he said, well, it's good to have a heart. And if you have a heart, it's going to have problems. There's potential for that. And Frank thought about it, and he laughed. But he thought about it and he said, yeah, I wouldn't trade my heart for someone else's heart for anything. My heart has learned how to be broken open. My heart has learned how to walk with people as they're dying. My heart has learned how to love. And if I want to be in this body and be in this life, then things are going to happen. There are going to be problems in life. There are going to be challenges. We know this. And yet we're so surprised when it happens to us. But we're always going to have challenges. But we have an opportunity to turn that suffering, turn that pain into something greater, into something that can teach us and bless us and help us along this journey to be more of who we came here to be. We often don't want to do that. He talks about how we have an opportunity with pain, emotional pain or physical pain, that if we just lean into it, if we look at our wounds, instead of pushing them down or resisting them or refusing to acknowledge them, that we can actually heal faster, that we can grow. So often we resist it. And he said, pain plus resistance equals suffering. Suffering is optional. Pain in our human life, in this human body, is not optional, but suffering is. It's all in how we look at it. It's all in how we think about it. Jill Bolt Taylor is a Harvard brain scientist. She also had a major stroke in her life and wrote a book called My Stroke of Insight. And in it, she talks about how it takes only 90 seconds for an emotion to get processed through our body. 90 seconds. After the 90 seconds, any pain that we're experiencing is our thoughts about that. Not the actual pain itself, not the actual emotion itself. We hang on to that. A Unity minister, or CSL minister that was at a convention I went to some years ago said, you wonder why happiness seems so fleeting? It's because we don't resist it. We resist pain. We resist challenges. We resist suffering. And so it seems like it's always hanging on. But happiness, we don't resist. And so it seems like it just comes and goes. 90 seconds for the body to process an emotion. We could learn to accept these things and lean into them instead of hanging on and suffering. We're all going to have problems in our life. It's just part of life. There's a Buddhist story about a farmer going to Buddha to seek help for his problems. He said, I'm a farmer and the weather, I have no control over the weather, and it destroys my crops sometimes, and other times it's too much for me, and I just can't deal with that. And he goes, my wife, and I wish she would change, and there's, my kids, I'm not connecting with my kids. And so he's listing all his problems to the Buddha, and he goes, how can you help? Can you help me with my problems? And Buddha says, no. I cannot help you with your problems. Every human being has 83 problems. He goes, 83? He goes, every human being has 83 problems. He goes, I can help you with the 84th. And he said, what is the 84th? He said, the 84th is knowing that you're going to have problems, accepting that you're going to have problems. Guy didn't like that answer very much, but realized that we all have problems. We all have stuff. We'd rather them go away. We'd rather not face them. Frank was giving a seminar to a group of people, and a guy came up to him and said, this is a lot like telephone poles. And he's like, what is that? Telephone poles? How is this like telephone poles? And he said, well, I used to be one of those pole diggers. I would put telephone poles in the ground, and there's a short window where it's a little wobbly and it's not quite stable, and these are 40 feet high, and if it falls and hits you, you could break your back. You could die. And he said, so one day we were putting in poles, and I asked my buddy who had been doing this a long time, what do we do if the pole falls? And the guy said, well, what would you do? And I told him, well, I would run like heck and get out of the way. And the older man who had been doing this a long time said, no, you run right up to that pole. You touch that pole. That's the safest place to be, because if you're touching the pole, it's not going to fall on you. But we don't want to look at our wounds. We don't want to touch our wounds. We'd rather, especially in this country, we'd rather walk away from them and bury them and ignore them and pretend like they're not there. But this invitation to live a full life is to welcome everything. Welcome even those things, those wounds. Instead, we try to change things. We try to change people. We try to change our circumstances instead of accepting them for what they're here to teach us. Frank had a younger brother named Alan, and Alan was an addict, and he would be in and out of recovery his whole life. He was out of recovery long enough to get married and have a child, and then soon thereafter went back into recovery. He had a heart attack and he passed away. Frank's older brother, Mark, called him and was the one that told him that their younger brother had passed and that he was going to be at a mortuary in Kansas. And so they met there at the mortuaries, and they decided they weren't going to have a service because Alan didn't have a big circle. He didn't really have a circle of friends at all. And so Frank asked if he could sit with the body. He told his brother, I want to sit with the body. In Buddhism, that 3 days is normal to sit with the body, to just let the body be in silence for anyone that wants to visit. And so his brother Mark said, why would you do that? And Frank said, oh, it's a California thing. So, so he got permission from the funeral director, and they wheeled his brother's body out, and he said he hadn't been prettied up yet, and he looked a little rough, but Frank sat down ready to just be in the silence and pray and reflect on his relationship with his brother. When, just as he got settled, in walks the wife, Lorraine, who was an addict as well, and she's all distraught, and she looks at him, at her husband's body, and says, what is this tag on his toe? Why are those scratches on his face? Where are his glasses? And she's all agitated. And Frank's feeling himself getting agitated. This was my time with my brother. This was the time I wanted to spend with him in silence. And then he realized, welcome everything. Welcome everything. I wanted to spend time with my brother. This is what spending time with my brother was like. And so he tried to calm down his brother's wife, and she didn't stay very long. She left. And Frank again sat down, tried to get settled to spend time with his brother's body. And in walks the mortician and says, time's up, we're closing, I gotta go, you're gonna have to leave. And he said, you have to accept that. That was his time with his brother. That's all he got. And that was very typical of his physical time with his brother when his brother was living. We have to accept what is, as is. Anybody that shops in consignment stores, they know sometimes there's a tag on something that says, as is. Means you're taking it as is. And he says in this chapter, what if we all just wore tags on ourselves, as is? Accept me as I am. What if we accepted life as it is? What if we accepted people as they are? What if we accepted ourselves as we are? Accepting doesn't mean approving, but accepting so that we can be open to whatever change is calling us, to whatever possibilities might be there. It's a big difference between accepting and forcing something to change or tolerating. What if we just allow ourselves to accept all situations, all circumstances, and bring new possibilities in? Then we can be aware of our denial or our resistance. I've been reading a fictional book. I always read something fun in the evening before I go to sleep. And this book I'm reading is for our women, my neighborhood women's book club. It's called The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich. Anybody read that? It's a couple. So, wow. So the book is one day in March, everybody in the world who is over 22 or older gets a box delivered to them with their name on it. And it says, the measure of your life is inside. Would you open the box? That's a really interesting question. It's a really interesting premise. Would you open the box to find out what measures your life? So inside the box is a string. Some are long strings, some are short strings. As I was reading this book, before I started reading it, I had heard about it from Chris Meekum, who was at the Harvest the Gifts of Aging workshop, and she talked about it. And I bought it right away. And before I read the book, I thought, I would want to know how long my string is. You know, if you knew when you were going to die, would you want to know? If you could know, would you want to know? And I thought, yeah, I'd want to know, because maybe I'd make some changes. But as I'm reading the book, I'm thinking, no, I don't want to know. None of us know. I mean, this is fiction. But none of us know when we're going to take our last breath. So why wouldn't we live as if it's our last day right now? Why wouldn't we welcome everything that's coming to us? What if it is our last day? What if the last thing we did was resist somebody that was trying to be in our life or have a relationship with us or say they're sorry? What if we resisted that and it was our last day? I love that the box says the measure of your life is inside, because isn't it? The measure of our life isn't a string, and it isn't the number of years we have left on this planet. It's what we do with it. It's how we love. Frank says in the book that after being with many people making their transition, the two questions that come up are, was I loved? And did I love well? You want to get to your life questioning that. Questioning, did I love well enough? Was I loved well enough? These questions can guide us in living a full life right now. Don't question if you loved enough. Just do it. We have this invitation always. We have this opportunity. He says on page 114, when we view reality from the vantage point of our personalities, from a small, separate self, we are constantly looking for what distinguishes us from one another. But when we live from the vantage point of boundless love, we begin to see all the points of connection that join us together. Love breeds love. Love breeds love. And welcoming everything can't be just an act of will. It has to be an act of love. Love for ourselves. Love for each other. Are we willing to receive that? At the women's retreat yesterday, when I'm facilitating, I'm not a participating facilitator because I've got to keep track of everything and make sure everybody's okay. And so we were doing an exercise at the end of the day where I asked people in their small groups, who were broken into 7 small groups, to bless each other. Bless each other with one word. And sometime into that practice, one of the members of one of the groups came over and said, "Would you come over to our group?" And so I go over there, and they wanted to bless me. And my initial thought was, "Oh, no. I'm the facilitator. You don't need to bless me. I'm good." But I received it. I remembered, welcome everything. Welcome everything. And received it. And I was so touched and I was so moved by what they all said. I was kind of giggling to myself because I asked them to do a one-word blessing. No, they weren't following instructions at all. But it was beautiful and it was loving. If we don't receive people's love when they're trying to love on us, did I love well? Did I love enough? We need to receive it as well as share it. That's our invitation too. So what are you pushing away right now? Is there something that is wanting to be made welcome and isn't feeling welcome yet? Is there some invitation for your life? What nightmare are you trying to avoid? There's always something. We've got to allow it all in. Just let it all come in. Welcome everything to live out loud. Don't let it pass you by. Put the welcome ad out for whatever shows up for you. Not that you like it, but that you'll be open to who you become when you welcome it in. Namaste. Peace be with you.
That was a good one. I really needed to hear that. Thank you, Sue. Nothing is like you, an expression of divine, a unique design. Waking up in gratitude, 'cause there will never be another like you. There will never be another like you. Your body and your mind are one of a kind of light, shimmy and shines. It dances its way through every day if you let it shimmy and shine. Shimmy, shimmy and shine. Find that space that illuminates your beautiful face, alive inside. vibration of light and love through flesh and blood. The vibration of light and love through flesh and blood. Your body and your mind are one of a kind of light, shimmy and shines. It dances its way through every day if you let it shimmy and shine. Shimmy, shimmy and shine. You have a mission to shine. Hear the light within. Forgetting is your only sin. Your body and your mind are one of a kind of light, shimmy and shines. It dances its way through every day if you let it shimmy and shine. Can I see a shimmy? Your body and your mind are one of a kind of light, shimmy and shines. It dances its way through every day if you let it shimmy and shine. Shimmy, shimmy and shine. Shimmy, shimmy and shine.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, for gracing us with your beautiful words and music and voice. So let's start this part by saying our purpose statement together. We commit to increasing our spiritual awareness, diversifying our community, manifesting our highest potential, and positively impacting the world. And before we get started with the rest of the announcements, I just wanted to acknowledge that the way the chairs are set up is the after effect of the women's retreat. And it is possibly a little bit challenging for some of us in the group to be looking at the other people and feeling distracted and so on. But what I'm really hoping that you felt as you came in the room is the residual energy from the event, because we had 60 women in this space and just loving and supporting one another and expanding our ideas of what we are here to do and how we are here to support one another. And I'm hoping that you still felt that energy when you arrived this morning. And I also want to extend a huge thank you to Reverend Sue for hosting this event. I was traveling. I went to Hawaii, and I missed the sound bowl part. I was on an airplane coming back. But I was here yesterday, and it was phenomenal. So thank you for everyone who made that all happen. A lot of volunteering went into it, and then, as I said, a lot of Sue's energy and effort. So just wanted to acknowledge that. So this is the time in our service when we invite you to help us manifest, each of us manifest our potential and create a wider circle into the community where our gifts are shared, not only here, but into the broader community. And at this point in the service, it's about the financial aspect of it, which is one part of how we affect our community in positive ways. So let's say our offering blessing together. God's love has always met and will always meet all my needs. I give freely, I receive abundantly, and I am grateful. And let's turn, as the offering bags are going around, let's turn and give a wave to our online viewers. Hello out there. We're glad that you're joining us now or in the future. Now for Colorado Feeding Kids, I'd like to invite Bill Holmes to come up and give us an update about the Colorado Feeding Kids for this coming Saturday.
What? You got a problem with that? You can't imagine what a guy with a Texas accent is doing trying to compete with Johnny Dario and a New York rap. So I'll get rid of this. Instead, I'll just give you a few facts. Over the past 5 years, you at Columbine have donated and prepared 120,000 meals for Colorado Feeding Kids. These go to kids on Friday as they go home. They receive meals in schools, but they go home for the weekend. And they're to some of the most deprived school districts in the whole general Denver area. On Saturday, if enough of us show up at 9:30, not 9:45, because we're going to start these assembly lines going quickly. We're going to assemble 25,000 plus meals for the kids, a new record for Columbine. And here's the catch. We're going to do it in 2 hours. That's how fast it goes. So this is a frenzy of fun and adrenaline where folks are shouting, bring me more pasta, bring me more snacks, bring me more cereal, so we can stuff these boxes and do it quickly. And it runs very well, very efficiently. If you can bring a dish and want to participate in our potluck at 11:30, we'd love to have you then. So 2 hours, we'll do it. We'll see how many we can do in 2 hours, and I think we'll be able to do over 25,000 meals. So you can still donate by check made out to Columbine with the notation CFK or Colorado Feeding Kids on it, and it will help us. I want to thank all of you who've donated and in advance for your participation, both past and future. And we look forward to a great time on Saturday at 9:30 in Foss Hall. And by the way, when you leave, you're going to feel really good about this.
Thank you, Bill. And our gathering of singers will start on August, I'm blanking, I've been away, sorry. It's a Thursday in August. I'll get you the date. But we're going to meet once in August, once in September, and then once in October with our new music coordinator, Laura Berman, who most of you know is an amazing singer. And we're going to create joy-filled noise together. So if you like to sing at any level, please join us. And the link for that is in your Thursday email update. Oktoberfest. I'm sorry that I missed Linda's presentation last week on Oktoberfest, but Oktoberfest, September the 16th, 5 p.m. at Foss Hall. And please, we are open to any of the gifts that you would like to share with us for this event. Anything from a bottle of wine to, are we doing lotto tickets again? Lottery tickets. And then if you have a place that you can share for an auction item or a service, all of these things are welcome for our event on September the 16th. So check with Linda if you have questions about that. And we are seeking volunteers to assist with that. And Linda's ready. And then before the prayer chaplain, I just wanted to say, Rebecca is, as Sue mentioned, she's been here 3 days in a row. We're going to ask her to stay just a tiny bit longer because she's got music available for us to purchase so we can take her spirit and her music home with us. Thank you again, Rebecca. And who is our prayer chaplain for today? Gretchen? and Brooke. Thank you so much. They'll be available to you for any prayer request or celebration that you might have. And now let's stand and sing our peace song together.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as our Father, brothers all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us wherever we are.